United States history. Around 1900 AD. Part 2. Alabama. 1925. State record high temperature of 112 degrees Fahrenheit recorded in Centerville. Alaska. 1925. Great Race of Mercy, Nome Serum Run. Dog sled teams, including Balto and Togo, delivered diphtheria antitoxin to Nome. Indiana. 1925. KKK scandal reveals widespread influence. Grand Dragon D.C. Stevenson convicted of murder. Massachusetts. 1925. Clarence Birdseye invents frozen food in Massachusetts. Tennessee. 1925. Scopes monkey trial in Dayton over teaching evolution. Grand Ole Opry debuts in Nashville. Wisconsin. 1925. Robert La Follette, progressive leader, passes away. Wyoming. 1925. Teapot Dome scandal exposes federal oil reserve corruption. Florida. 1926. Florida's land boom collapses. Hawaii. 1926. Sanford B. Dole, leader of overthrow, territorial governor, passes away. Illinois. 1926. Route 66 begins in Chicago, symbolizing American mobility. Kentucky. 1926. Mammoth Cave National Park is established. Massachusetts. 1926. Robert Goddard launches first liquid fuel rocket in Auburn. Montana. 1926. Charles M. Russell, artist, passes away. Washington. 1926. Bertha Landis was the first female mayor of a major U.S. city, Seattle. Arkansas. 1927. The Great Mississippi Flood devastated the Delta, prompting federal flood control projects. Colorado. 1927. Carl McGee invents the parking meter in Denver. Hawaii. 1927. First nonstop flight to Hawaii. Lester Maitland and Albert Hegenberger fly from California to Oahu. Missouri. 1927. Charles Lindbergh's Spirit of St. Louis completed the first solo transatlantic flight. New Jersey. 1927. Holland Tunnel opens, connecting New Jersey and New York City. South Dakota. 1927. Mount Rushmore carving began, sculptor Gutzon Borglum. Connecticut. 1928. Igor Sikorsky established his aviation company in Stratford. Florida. 1928. Okeechobee hurricane, 3,000+ deaths. Louisiana. 1928. Huey Long elected governor, beginning his populist political machine. Utah. 1928. Bryce Canyon National Park established, boosting tourism. Colorado. 1929. Adolph Coors, brewing magnate who built Coors Brewery, passes away. New York. 1929. Wall Street crash triggers the Great Depression. New York City becomes a hub for New Deal programs. New York. 1929 to 1932. Franklin D. Roosevelt, New York governor before presidency. Arizona. 1920s. Barry Goldwater, future U.S. Senator, began his political career. Percival Lowell's observatory popularized Mars theories. California. 1920s. Hollywood emerged as the global film capital, with stars like Charlie Chaplin and studios like Warner Brothers. Georgia. 1920s. Boll weevil devastates cotton. Agriculture diversifies. Kansas. 1920s. Oil boom in Butler County made Kansas a top producer. Montana. 1920s. Droughts and the Great Depression devastated agriculture. Oil discoveries in Glendive offered relief. Iowa. 1920s to 1930s. The Great Depression devastated small farms, exacerbated by the Dust Bowl. New Deal programs like the Civilian Conservation Corps provided relief. Maine. 1920s to 1930s. The Great Depression hit Maine hard, but Percival Baxter donated land for Baxter State Park. New York. 1920s to 1960s. Robert Moses, urban planner who reshaped New York City's infrastructure. Virginia. 1920s to 1960s. Bird organization dominates state politics. Nebraska. 1930. Warren Buffett, Oracle of Omaha, billionaire investor, was born. Nevada. 1931. Gambling was legalized, and divorce laws were relaxed, transforming Nevada into a tourist hub. The Paradise Club, Las Vegas' first casino, opened. New Jersey. 1931. Thomas Edison, Menlo Park wizard, whose inventions shaped modern life, passes away. Indiana. 1931. Tulip tree named state tree. Vermont. 1931. Wilson Snowflake, Bentley, first to photograph snowflakes, Jericho, passes away. Colorado. 1932. Molly Brown, Titanic survivor and philanthropist, passes away. Indiana. 1933. John Dillinger robs banks, escapes Crown Point jail with a wooden gun. Minnesota. 1933. Labor strikes like the 1933 sit-down strike occur. Tennessee. 1933. Tennessee Valley Authority created. Montana. 1934. Fort Peck Dam provided jobs and irrigation. New Mexico. 1934 to 1938. Governor Clyde Tingley established children's hospitals, including Carey Tingley Hospital for tuberculosis patients. Vermont. 1934. First U.S. ski tow opens in Woodstock. Alaska. 1935. Matanuska Colony. New Deal program relocates farmers from the Midwest to Alaska's Matsu Valley. Illinois. 1935. Jane Addams, founded Hull House, Nobel Peace Prize winner, passes away. Louisiana. 1935. Senator Huey Long delivered record 15.5-hour Senate speech. Michigan. 1935. United Auto Workers, UAW, forms in Detroit. Oklahoma. 1935. Will Rogers, Cherokee actor and humorist, passes away. Nevada. 1935 to 1936. Hoover Dam and Lake Mead were completed, providing water and power to the Southwest. Connecticut. 1936. Severe floods caused extensive damage in the Connecticut River Valley. California. 1937. The Golden Gate Bridge opened, symbolizing engineering prowess. Kansas. 1937. Amelia Earhart, aviation pioneer from Atchison, disappeared. Kentucky. 1937. Ohio River flood devastates Louisville and other cities. New Jersey. 1937. Hindenburg disaster at Lakehurst kills 36. Oregon. 1937. Bonneville Dam is completed, harnessing the Columbia River for power. Tennessee. 1937. Memphis labor organizer Ed Crump gains control of state politics. Connecticut. 1938. A devastating hurricane and floods caused heavy loss of life and property. Oregon. 1938. Phil Knight, co-founder of Nike Incorporated, business magnate shaping Oregon's economy, was born. Rhode Island. 1938. A devastating hurricane hit Rhode Island's coastline. Washington. 1938. Olympic National Park was established. Minnesota. 1939. Dr. William Mayo, pioneer in modern medical care and established Mayo Clinic, passes away. Alabama. 1930s. Great Depression hit Alabama hard, with Birmingham unemployment reaching 85%. New Deal programs like TVA brought electricity and jobs. Idaho. 1930s. New Deal projects like irrigation systems boost agriculture. Kansas. 1930s. Dust Bowl devastated farms. 300,000 plus Kansans migrated west, featured in the Grapes of Wrath. Minnesota. 1930s. Hormel Foods, Austin, introduces Spam. Montana. 1930s. New Deal projects provided jobs and irrigation. Nebraska. 1930s. Dust Bowl ravaged farms. 1 in 5 Nebraskans left the state. North Dakota. 1930s. Dust Bowl devastates farms. Population declines by 50,000. Oklahoma. 1930s. Dust Bowl devastated farms. 440,000 Oklahomans migrated west. West Virginia. 1930s. New Deal programs aided labor rights, including the UMWA, United Mine Workers. Wisconsin. 1930s. New Deal policies aid recovery from timber industry collapse. South Dakota. 1940. Tom Brokaw, NBC News anchor, was born in Webster. Washington. 1940. Tacoma Narrows Bridge collapses due to wind resonance. Hawaii. December 7, 1941. Attack on Pearl Harbor. Japan bombs Pearl Harbor, killing 2,403 Americans and drawing the U.S. into World War II. Martial law declared in Hawaii until 1944. Alabama. December 7, 1941. Pearl Harbor attack brought Alabama into World War II. Alabama. 1941. Tuskegee Airmen training began. Idaho. 1941. Gutzon Borglum, sculptor of Mount Rushmore, born in Bear Lake County, passes away. South Dakota. 1941. Mount Rushmore finished. Connecticut. 1941 to 1945. Approximately 210,000 Connecticut men served in World War II. Kansas. 1941 to 1945. World War II brought military bases, Fort Riley, and aircraft manufacturing, Wichita's Boeing. New Mexico. 1941 to 1945. Navajo code talkers like Chester Nez, 1921 to 2014, developed unbreakable military codes using Navajo language. North Dakota. 1941 to 1945. World War II brings military bases and POW, prisoner of war, camps to state. Texas. 1941 to 1945. World War II. Industrial growth with military bases and petrochemical industries. Alaska. June 1942. Japanese invade the Aleutian Islands, Attu and Kiska. Illinois. 1942. First controlled nuclear chain reaction at University of Chicago, launching the atomic age. Oregon. 1942. Japanese Americans are interned at Portland Assembly Center during World War II. Utah. 1942. Topaz internment camp imprisoned Japanese Americans during World War II. Washington. 1942 to 1945. Hanford site produces plutonium for atomic bombs. Manhattan Project. Wyoming. 1942 to 1945. Heart Mountain Relocation Center incarcerates 10,767 Japanese Americans during World War II. Alaska. 1942 to 1943. Alaska Highway, Alkin, is constructed for military supply routes. Arizona. 1942 to 1945. Japanese Americans were interned at Poston War Relocation Center during World War II. Arkansas. 1942 to 1945. Rower and Jerome internment camps held 16,000 Japanese Americans during World War II. California. 1942 to 1945. Japanese internment forced 120,000 into camps under Executive Order 9066. Idaho. 1942 to 1945. Minidoka internment camp holds Japanese Americans during World War II. Tennessee. 1942 to 1945. Manhattan Project develops atomic bomb at Oak Ridge. Alaska. 1943. U.S. retakes Attu and Kiska in the Aleutian Islands campaign. California. 1943. Zoot Suit riots. Connecticut. 1943. Connecticut established the nation's first statutory civil rights agency, the Interracial Commission. Virginia. 1943. Pentagon completed. District of Columbia. 1943. Marian Anderson performs at Lincoln Memorial after being barred from DR Constitution Hall. Connecticut. 1944. The Ringling Brothers circus tent fire in Hartford killed 168 people. South Dakota. 1944. Pick-Sloan Plan dammed Missouri River, creating lakes for irrigation/hydroelectric power. New Mexico. July 16, 1945. Manhattan Project at Los Alamos developed first atomic bombs. Trinity test conducted at White Sands. Massachusetts. 1945. Robert Goddard, inventor of liquid-fueled rocket, passes away. New Hampshire. 1945. Old Man of the Mountain becomes the state emblem. Pennsylvania. 1945. Milton Hershey, chocolate magnate, passes away. Missouri. 1945 to 1953. Harry S. Truman, 33rd U.S. President, from independence. New York. 1945 to 1965. Post-war suburbanization and deindustrialization challenged the city, offset by immigration. Hawaii. April 1, 1946. 8.6 magnitude earthquake in Aleutians triggers a tsunami, killing 159 in Hilo. Arizona. 1946. Linda Ronstadt, iconic musician from Tucson, was born. North Dakota. 1946. Ed Schaefer, former governor and U.S. Agriculture Secretary, was born. Tennessee. 1946. Battle of Athens. Veterans overthrow corrupt McMinn County government. Colorado. 1947. Emily Griffith, founded Denver's Opportunity School for Adult Education, murdered. Florida. 1947. Everglades National Park is established, championed by conservationist Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. Iowa. 1947. Carrie Chapman Catt, suffragist from Charles City, passes away. Maine. 1947. The year Maine burned saw wildfires destroy 200,000 acres. Michigan. 1947. Henry Ford, pioneer of the automobile industry, passes away. New Jersey. 1947. Larry Doby Patterson breaks Major League Baseball's color barrier. New Jersey adopts its current constitution, banning segregation. Arizona. 1948. Stevie Nicks, iconic musician from Phoenix, was born. Maine. 1948. Margaret Chase Smith became the first woman elected to both houses of Congress. Nebraska. 1948. Strategic Air Command, SAC, headquartered at Offutt AFB, Cold War Nuclear Defense Hub. North Carolina. 1948. Orville Wright, aviation pioneer, passes away. Oklahoma. 1948 to 1950. Supreme Court cases, Sipewell versus Board of Regents, McLaurin v. Oklahoma, advanced school desegregation. New Mexico. 1948 to 1973. Senator Clinton Anderson served, surviving tuberculosis, to become influential Democrat. Alaska. 1949. Alaska's first oil discovery at Swanson River, Kenai Peninsula. New Jersey. 1949. Bruce Springsteen, iconic musician chronicling New Jersey's working-class ethos, was born. Iowa. 1940s. World War II spurred industrial growth, with factories like the Des Moines Ordnance Plant supporting the war effort. Kentucky. 1940s. Fort Knox becomes the U.S. gold depository.